Welcome back to another video, everybody. We have a lot to discuss in this one with obviously some of these broad market developments here. We have a couple of important deadlines coming up in the near future, and obviously we are seeing some very crazy movements across the board in some of these individual names that we talk about on this channel a lot. So before we get into all of that information, guys, if you guys do enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos here, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And again, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you're notified every time these videos do end up getting posted live. And as always, massive shout out to all of the members of my private trading and investing community, Less Trades, More Profits. Guys, you have been absolutely crushing it. Shout out to all of the new members, the old members, the OGs. But again, today, guys, is the last day for those of you guys to hop in and take advantage of the 50% off your first 2-month sale that I am offering and running right now. Again, it literally only comes out to $1 a day. You guys get access to all of the full-length educational course curriculum videos, the daily private live streams, the full watch list of stocks and cryptos that are about to explode before they do, the pre-market plans, the macro research reports, the single stock research reports, the weekly market research reports. Guys, the amount of value in there is absolutely insane. It is very, very highly reviewed for a reason. If you guys want to take advantage of the last day here to hop in with us and get access to that sale, make sure you guys use code June with that link down below. But first things first, when we start moving over here, again, we do have this trade deadline coming up. On Friday, we did see some more comments here, especially relating to Canada. In the White House now is being a little bit more firm in their stance when it comes to a lot of these trade deals here. And they're really trying to get out of these deals everything that they possibly can here before this deadline, so they don't necessarily have to move this out if they don't want to. White House will hear about trade deal with India very soon. And then continuing on here, Bessent says there will be a flurry of trade deals going into the final week before the July 9th deadline, which is really just going to be over the next 2 weeks here. Now, moving on a bit further here, we do have some more positive macro developments here as well. Feds Goolsbee is saying that they don't see any prospect of a 1970s style stagflation period. Now, again, this has been what the Fed and a lot of these economists have been worried about this year so far, with this potential for growth slowing down, unemployment going up, and inflation moving back to the upside. But again, as we have seen so far this year, we have not seen any significant amounts of additional inflation as a result of these new tariff and trade policies, which is why we are seeing institutions right here, just like Goldman, now seeing first Fed cut in December. One of Goldman's analysts here has moved his Fed cut forecast to September from December, citing smaller than expected tariff impacts and stronger disinflation. While the job market remains healthy, it's getting harder to find jobs, posing downside risks to payrolls. Goldman sees a slightly above 50% chance of a September cut, followed by cuts in October and December, similar to 2019's pattern. The firm expects 2 more cuts in 2026 and lowers its terminal rate forecast to 3% to 3.25% from 3.5% to 3.75%. A July cut is not expected unless jobs data this week is much weaker than the forecast. And again, we are going to be getting that non-farm payroll data this Thursday, which is going to give us a deeper insight here into the labor market. And if everything, again, like this Goldman analyst is coming out and saying if everything does come out how the market expects it to, we really should not expect to see that July cut, even though we have seen Fed officials such as Waller and Bowman being open to a July rate cut, but a lot of those other FOMC members are not on that same page just yet. Now let's start talking about some of these individual names, guys, because we have seen some absolutely crazy movements today. SoFi, at the current time that I'm recording right now, is up 6.2%, reaching highs today of almost 19. The high of today, $18.92. For those of you guys that have been around this channel, watching these videos and paying attention over the last few weeks here, we have been talking about this weekly breakout really in depth and in detail here, that if we were able to clear a couple of these levels here right around that 1360 area, get some solid weekly closes above this 15 area, we could easily get into the 16s and 17s very, very quickly. Now, in the short term here, we have blown through all of the short-term targets that I have outlined for everybody that is looking to take some of those short-term trades on SoFi. I know a lot of you guys in the Less Trades More Profits community were able to take advantage of this, so congratulations to all of you guys as well. And again, SoFi is one that I think is going to have a lot of success over the medium to long term, and some of the news driving this one today, again, we are seeing some continued positive reactions here. SoFi tech stock jumps 7% as it relaunches crypto investing and doubles down on blockchain. Again, this has been something that investors have been looking for. It's been something that the management of SoFi has been trying to get back out to their consumers really over the last 6 months here, and it is finally coming to fruition, and we are seeing that reflected in the share price, because not only could this be something that's going to increase their average revenue that they're able to generate per each consumer or customer that they have on their platform, but it's also something that could serve to grow their user base. And with SoFi hanging out at around 11-12 million members right now, again, we're going to get a little bit more insight into their member numbers. In their next earnings report, they have some lofty goals of hitting 50 million members over the next few years, and seeing them continuously innovate and bringing back out these products here is definitely going to help them meet those goals. Now, moving along here, let's talk a little bit about another retail favorite, another one that has performed very, very well over the last couple of years here, and that is Palantir. So obviously we did see some significant selling pressure coming into this name on Friday with that Russell 2000 rebalance, but just looking at this chart from a technical perspective, this does not have the best structure here for continued movement to the upside. Now, obviously, it's going to depend on what happens with the broad market. If we see this market continuously make new all-time highs over the next couple of days and weeks here, again, Palantir could easily be a name that continues to get the love from the market that it has been in 2025 and 2024. But like I say, every single time that we talk about Palantir, this is not one that you want to go out and buy in the short term here, but it is definitely not one that you want to go out and short. This is another one that I've handed out to the Less Trades More Profits group, really in the 15-16 area. And this has been another one that has performed very, very well for everybody. So again, a couple of things that you can do with this one. You can start selling some calls against your position here. You could trim some of your shares, but for those of you guys that are in this one for the long haul here, again, there's really not a whole lot to do with this position in the short term, but they continuously continue to really do everything they need to as a business to continue moving forward and growing here. Palantir and Accenture Federal Services join forces to help federal government agencies reinvent operations with AI. Yet another partnership here showing that Palantir can operate in pretty much any sector here: finance, healthcare, the government sector, defense, whatever any of these companies need. Again, so many of these companies have so much data, and having a company like Palantir out there to help utilize this data for these corporations or organizations like a government make better decisions obviously is going to make Palantir an incredibly valuable company in the marketplace. Now, the last name that I want to talk about with you guys briefly in this video this evening is Hims. Now, obviously, there's been a significant amount of volatility introduced to this name over the last couple of weeks here, especially after the announcement that Novo Nordisk was no longer going to be partnering with Hims to sell Wegovy to its consumers. Now, in this specific scenario here, I would still be a little bit cautious of this name. Remember, I was outlining this one between 30 and 31 as a really, really solid buy for all of the members of the private community, and also those of you guys on or that have been watching these videos here. And if I like a stock at 30 to 31 and it goes all the way up to 60, well, I'm obviously going to like it a lot less up at those higher levels, and it is still trading at 50, so still very, very much higher than where we were looking to purchase this one previously. So unless we see a more well-defined base on this name here, this is one that I would give a little bit of time to breathe and kind of digest all of the news that has been coming out with this name over the last couple of weeks here. Now, does that mean that I don't think that Hims is going to still continue to witness significant levels of growth over the next couple of quarters and years? Absolutely not. But as investors, we need to make sure that we are thinking more long-term here and avoiding some of these knee-jerk reactions in the present, whether it be buys or sells. So, guys, that is going to wrap up this video here. If you guys did enjoy the information and analysis I provided for you guys in this one, make sure you go down and hit that like button. Costs you nothing to do it, but it helps me out a whole lot in spreading this information out to as many people who actually want to learn. And again, make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on notifications so you're notified every time these videos do end up getting posted live. But until next time, guys, I will see you Peace.